Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Class MTG. It's pre-release weekend and we're hot and heavy into it. So yesterday we talked about some of the best cards for limited. Here today, let's talk about top 10 cards for Commander. These are the cards that I feel and that I like that will probably have a good impact in the Commander environment as far as not just how you could say powerful slash broken they are, but also their impact in the environment themselves. So we have a lot of cards that would serve great as commanders or in the 99, and some that are probably more toward just the 99, as few and far between they may be. But before we get started, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe. It helps keep the channel sponsor free. I do appreciate those who have subscribed. I love you guys. So let's get started. We're going to start the day off with number 10. That's right, there's no honorable mentions. We'll talk about Tom Dog. Tom Bombadil is number 10. One of every color. He's in the Painbow. As long as there are 4 or more lore counters among sagas you control, Tom has hexproof and indestructible. Whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control resolves, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a saga card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. This ability triggers only once each turn. With Tom, you can just chain over and over again sagas from your deck. Like, you could build a complete saga deck. This would be a great deck not just for sagas. You could combine this like saga slash shrine deck in kind of a Painbow, maybe Child of Alaria deck. There's all kinds of things to do when you got the Painbow going on. So if those of you guys who don't know, that means rainbow except with pain. Anyway, I think Tom's a great card. If you get him on the battlefield, followed up by some sagas, it's really insane. And with him costing 5, you can drop sagas on 2, 3, and 4, and then drop Tom on 5. And then all you got to do is just protect Tom for one turn to start the Painbow, or should I say the Chainbow of sagas coming out of your deck. I think it's a really cool idea and really nice. I just think this is amazing. It's a brand new way to build a commander deck, and I really like it. So next we have number 9. We have Aramir, Marshal of Rohan. 2 red and 2, 4/4 haste. Whenever one or more other attacking legendary creatures you control die, untap all creatures you control after this phase. There's an additional combat phase. This ability only triggers once each turn. Can be a good commander, probably better inside a 99 of a mono red or red splash deck with lots of haste. But the ability to take extra turns whenever one or more other attacking legendary creatures you control die, they're going to block one of your legendary creatures and they're going to kill it. First thing comes to my mind is the Maximus Goblin deck. This guy's 4, Maximus is 6. Who cares if they kill Maximus when you swing or this guy when you swing, because you get to untap all them goblins and punch them again. I think this slots into a lot of those fast red decks. Looks pretty good. Next we have Fangorn, Tree Shepherd. That's right, 3 green and 4 for a 4/10. Tree folk you control have vigilance. Whenever one or more tree folk you control attack, add twice that many green. You don't lose unspent green mana as your steps and phases end. This is an interesting way to build a tree folk deck. Could be a good commander. I'm sure there's probably another tree folk that has more colors in it or whatever. But the fact that you can attack, ramp into green, you're already in green for ramp. I think it's really cool that we're getting all these new commander deck possibilities with these new archetypes and creature types. So I really like it, and that's where this one falls in as well. Next we have Saruman of Many Colors. Sadly enough, he's only 3, but it's still a lot because it's more than 2. I guess. Anyway. Black, blue, and white in 3. You get a 5/4. Avatar Wizard. The best thing about him is his ward. You have to discard an enchantment, instant, or sorcery card to even target him, making him very hard to remove. And whenever you cast your second spell each turn, each opponent mills 2 cards. When one or more cards are milled this way, exile target enchantment, instant, or sorcery card with equal or lesser value than that spell from opponent's graveyard. Copy the exiled card. You may cast out, paying its mana cost. Free casting in the house, off your opponent, and every opponent. So if you've got 3 people and this bad boy's on the field, you can cast tons of stuff. Plus, again, ward makes it hard to kill. It's a 5/4. I think it's pretty hot, and it probably will be a great commander. So, moving on. Next we have, that's right, Sauron the Dark Lord has arrived. Red, blue, black, 3 for a 7/6. And again, ward. Sacrifice legendary artifact or legendary creature. That's a really hard ward to come by. And I think it's going to make this card very powerful and hard to deal with. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, you get to amass 1 orc. So your opponent trying to cast things to deal with this guy is just going to make you an army. And whenever an army you control deals combat damage to a player, the ring gets to tempt you, which is even better. And when the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand if you do draw 4 cards. So if your army of orcs get in one time, you let the ring tempt you, discard your hand. If you don't have one, you just draw 4 cards. Seems very powerful. And at the high end of 6 mana, you literally can run your entire hand out, make an orc army in there somewhere, lay this guy with an empty hand or 1 or 2 cards, get your orcs in, get a brand new hand, and it's game on. Rinse and repeat. Next we have, in at number 5, Gandalf the White. 2 white and 3 for a 4/5 with flash. You may cast legendary spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. If a legendary permanent or an artifact entering or leaving the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. This is very powerful in a lot of artifact decks. I mean, we have this could build a whole new version of decks where artifacts entering the battlefield matter. And because he's white, you get the best of all white. And if you're playing artifacts or legendary spells, more often than not, you're going to place an artifact deck. It doesn't matter because they're not white, because they're artifacts. You can play them anyway and just make this guy your commander. So I think that's pretty cool. You can build an artifact deck with a white creature. I mean, you can probably do it with any. You can do it with any color, but this one has a lot of stuff going on with it. And those ETB and leaving the battlefield triggers, LTBs, is really sweet, and I think it's going to make for some nice deck ideas. Next, we have King of the Oathbreakers, black, white, and 2, and in at number 4, a 3/3 of flying. Whenever the King of the Oathbreakers or another spirit you control becomes target of a spell, it phases out. Whenever King of the Oathbreakers or another spirit you control phases in, create a tapped 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. This thing would be amazing as a commander because the only way to kill it is to kill it by something it doesn't target, and a lot of spells target. Now, there's a lot of spells that don't too, but it's going to be very hard to find those spells like Wrath, Board Wipes, negative effects across the board, whatever you want to call them. And inside a spirit deck, when he's on the battlefield, all your spirits phase in and out. And when they phase in, your army just gets bigger. This is really cool. I really think it can go inside a spirit deck or even an enchantment deck that runs off of spirits. Yeah, I think it's a great card. I love it a lot. I think it's going to be really cool in Commander. Next, coming in at number 3, we got Spidey, Shelbub, Child of Ugalant. Probably butchered that name. But we have a Spider Demon, green, black, and 4 for an 8/8, Death Touch, Ward 2. Other spiders you control have Death Touch and Ward 2. Whenever another creature dealt damage this turn by a spider you control dies, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a food artifact with, obviously, 2 tap, gain 3 life. It loses all other abilities. 6 mana 8/8s are already sweet. When they have Death Touch and Ward 2, they're even sweeter. And now this makes it able for you to have a spider deck. Again, I really love the fact that we're finally getting commanders to go into these niche archetypes or creature types that we haven't seen in Commander before and give you a reason to make them. Now, this could be great in 99 of a deck. I'm not saying it wouldn't. But how cool would it be to make a spider deck when you could turn all your spiders into Ward 2 Death Touchers that now all of a sudden are really sweet? And there's actually lots of spiders out there that are pretty powerful. Maybe this is all it needs to pull that Commander deck together. All right, moving on. Next we have, coming in at number 2, Boromir, Warden of the Tower, 2 white and 2 for a 3/3 Vigi. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell, and you can sacrifice him. Creature you control gain indestructible at the end of turn, and the ring tempts you. Now, I'm not saying this would be this would probably be okay as a commander, but in any white deck, this shuts off a lot of shenanigans. Whether it be free casting from the top of the deck, free casting off of some of the cards we just saw. There's always some kind of weird free casting going on in Commander, and a 3/3 for 3 with Vigi that puts a stop to it is a sweet card. Plus, it has a second ability. If they're not free casting, your stuff gains indestructible. You can let the ring tempt you. Seems sweet. It seems very powerful and usable in multiple decks, not just one. So that's why this card's coming in at number 2. And finally, in number 1 spot, coming in hot, it's Aragorn the Uniter. He's only 4 colors. He's not in the Painbow, but he's close. Blue, white, green, and red. He's a 5/5 for 4, which ain't that hard in Commander. Whenever you cast a white spell, you get a 1/1 human soldier creature token. A blue spell lets you scry to. A red spell, he'll deal 3 damage to an opponent. And whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 to end a turn. Probably the best thing about this card as a commander is if you cast him, and then the next turn you cast something similar to him, like, I don't know, Omnath, all these abilities trigger at one time because it's every color. So, like, this going in a deck with Niv Mizzet, Omnath, anything that's 4 or 5 colors where the entire deck is 2 or more colors gives you so much value off of every spell you cast. With a card like this as your commander, there's no reason you should be playing a single color card in your deck. You should have 2 color cards or more throughout your deck. For example, Culligan's Command. First thing comes to mind. I'm going to cast Culligan's Command. I'm going to blow up your artifact. I'm going to make you discard a card. It's also red and black, which means I'm going to do 3 damage to that over there. Now, the black doesn't do anything, so you wouldn't be able to play it, so I guess that's a bad example. Dramoka's Command. Let's go with that. Dramoka's Command. So, my guy is going to fight. I'm going to make you sacrifice a permanent. It's also green, so now Aragorn's going to be a 9/9, and he's going to swing at the face, because when I fight something, I'm going to kill whatever's in my way. And it's also white, which means he's going to make a 1/1 creature. Like, there's so much going on here. Plus, using this with the charms, and all them other 3 casting things, 3 casting spells that have all these multiple effects, is just super powerful in this deck. I mean, all the cards from Khans of Tarkir, the charms from, I think it was Dominaria, what is it? Old Dominaria, no, Alaria Reborn, and those sets. So much power here. It's insane how powerful this card itself is because of what it does on top of what it just is. And I think that's what's going to make this card powerful. So, at the end of the day, there we have it. I think you're going to see a lot of Aragorn decks running around. So, I hope you guys liked it. Put some comments down below what you think. Did I miss something? Do you disagree? Do you even care? At the end of the day, remember, till next time, be kind. And hope to see you across from the game table. Maybe playing pre-release. Hell, who knows?